Hey everyone, welcome back to Wealth Boss, where we break down the biggest financial stories shaping your future. Today, we're diving into a major development that could change the lives of millions of hardworking Americans, especially our retired teachers, police officers, firefighters, and public servants. The Social Security Fairness Act is gaining traction again, and if passed, it promises something huge: the repeal of the Windfall Elimination Provision, better known as WEP, and the Government Pension Offset, or GPO. But here's the real kicker: it might also come with retroactive relief, putting long overdue money right back into retirees' pockets. So what does this mean? Is this just another political promise, or could this bill finally fix one of the most controversial parts of Social Security law? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what's at stake, who stands to benefit, and how this could reshape retirement income for millions of Americans. Let's start with a quick refresher. Social Security was designed to provide a fair safety net for retirees. But back in the 1980s, Congress introduced two provisions that have haunted certain workers ever since the WEP and the GPO. The Windfall Elimination Provision was created in 1983 to prevent what lawmakers called double dipping. Basically, it affects people who earned a pension from a job that didn't pay into Social Security, like many public sector jobs, but who also worked elsewhere in the private sector long enough to qualify for Social Security benefits. Lawmakers thought those workers were getting an unfair advantage, so they came up with a formula to reduce their Social Security payments. Sounds reasonable, right? But here's the problem: that formula often over-penalizes people. The result? Retired teachers, firefighters, police officers, postal workers, people who spent their lives serving their communities, can see their Social Security checks slashed by hundreds of dollars each month. Some even lose thousands every single year. Now, the Government Pension Offset, or GPO, is a different beast, but equally painful. It affects spousal and survivor benefits. If you receive a government pension from a job that didn't pay into Social Security, the GPO can reduce or completely wipe out the benefits you'd normally get as a spouse or widow. In some cases, people expecting $1,200 or more in monthly survivor benefits find themselves getting zero. For decades, these two provisions have been criticized as unfair and outdated. They were written in an era when the workforce looked very different, and many argue that they punish people who simply chose to serve their communities. That's where the Social Security Fairness Act comes in. The bill, which has been introduced multiple times over the years, aims to completely repeal both the WEP and the GPO. The idea is simple: treat all retirees fairly, no matter where they worked or how their pension was earned. But this time, the proposal is making bigger waves, not just because it's resurfaced again, but because lawmakers are pushing for retroactive relief. That means people who've already lost out on thousands of dollars in benefits could get reimbursed for what they were unfairly denied. Imagine this: you're a retired teacher who's been losing $400 a month for the past 15 years due to the WEP. That's $72,000 gone. Now imagine getting a check that returns that money to you. That's the kind of life-changing relief this act could deliver. Of course, the big question is, can Congress actually make this happen? As of right now, bipartisan support is building. Representatives from both sides of the aisle are backing the Social Security Fairness Act because this isn't just a red or blue issue. It's about fairness, plain and simple. More than 2 million retirees are directly affected, and millions more could benefit indirectly if the bill passes. And let's not forget the timing. With the cost of living skyrocketing, healthcare expenses climbing, and Social Security already stretched thin, retirees need every dollar they can get. Fixing the WEP and GPO could inject billions of dollars back into local economies as retirees regain spending power. Now, let's address the critics, because they're out there. Opponents of the bill argue that repealing these provisions could strain the Social Security Trust Fund, potentially speeding up its insolvency timeline. Some economists warn that fully repealing WEP and GPO without a replacement formula could cost tens of billions over the next decade. But supporters fire back with a strong point. This isn't a handout, it's justice. These workers earned their benefits. They paid their dues in both service and payroll taxes, and the current rules are simply outdated and unfair. They argue that if the Social Security system can afford to absorb tax cuts and loopholes elsewhere, it can certainly afford to correct this long-standing inequity. Here's where things get really interesting: the retroactive piece. Typically, when Congress changes Social Security law, it applies going forward. But the new push for retroactive relief is gaining steam because so many retirees have already suffered from these reductions. Lawmakers are exploring ways to calculate back payments based on how much each person lost due to the WEP or GPO. Now, will it be full repayment or a capped amount? That's still up for debate. Some proposals suggest lump sum payments, while others mention tax credits or phased-in reimbursements. Either way, it's shaping up to be one of the most significant Social Security adjustments in decades. Let's talk numbers for a second. The Social Security Administration estimates that over 1.9 million beneficiaries are affected by the WEP and nearly 800,000 are hit by the GPO. That's nearly 3 million Americans, and most of them are middle-class workers who depend heavily on every dollar of their retirement income. Many of them are women, particularly widows, who face the harshest impacts from the GPO. The emotional side of this can't be ignored. For years, retirees have flooded congressional offices with letters, emails, and personal stories about how these rules have devastated their financial security. Some have even postponed retirement or gone back to work just to make ends meet. So when people hear Social Security Fairness Act, it's not just another bill number, it's hope. It's the possibility of finally getting what they earned and deserved all along. Now, if you're watching this and wondering, how will this affect me? Here's the breakdown. If you worked in a public job where you didn't pay into Social Security, like teaching in certain states or serving as a first responder, and you also earned enough Social Security credits elsewhere, this could directly impact your benefits. If you're already retired, retroactive relief could mean a significant financial boost. And if you're nearing retirement, a repeal could increase your future monthly checks. The key is to stay informed and keep pressure on your representatives. Bills like this often rise and fall based on public awareness. The more people speak up, the harder it becomes for lawmakers to ignore. So, what's next? The bill still needs to move through committee hearings and floor votes. It's not a done deal yet, but momentum is growing, and with more than 300 bipartisan co-sponsors in previous versions, optimism is running high. If you or someone you know has been affected by the WEP or GPO, this is the time to pay attention. Follow updates, contact your local representatives, and make your voice heard. Because if this passes, it won't just be a financial victory, it'll be a moral one. It will send a message that fairness still matters, and that the people who dedicated their lives to serving our communities deserve better than being shortchanged in retirement. So what do you think? Will Congress finally get this right? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Wealth Boss, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the latest updates on Social Security, retirement planning, and financial news that impacts you. Thanks for watching, stay informed, stay empowered, and as always, keep building your wealth like a boss.